Good morning, 21 minutes past 8. You are with me, Miriam Angel and Salim Barissa. And you know what? It is a Thursday, and I said earlier on that we will have a fashion stylist in studio. She's an editor, she's an educator, she's a creative entrepreneur. And of course, we're also joined by an arts manager, Kenya, from the British Council. I'll introduce my guests later on in a bit, but I know you're checking in. I know you are representing your hood. Uko wapi?
Unatusikiliza kutoka wapi na kwa nini huko uliko kuko vizuri kuweza kutufuatilia pale na kuwa vizuri kabisa. Tuangalie hapa wale ambao kwamba wanatufuatilia haraka upesi. Kuna Teddy Oxlade, lakini kuna Salim Brando pale, yuko maeneo ya Shimoni hapo, lakini Kujasaya Kababaka na Mai, alafu kuna Alan Katana, asante sana. Kuna Nyawa Dalu kutoka Lungalunga pale. Kuna huyu anaitwa Evans Kazungu anasema good morning. Ali Kombo tumesema Nairobi pale, lakini Mariakani Mkilo Massive, JJ Ozengo na Florence Nekesa kutoka magharibi mwa nchi.
Thank you so much for keeping it locked. And if you do have a question when it comes to the fashion industry, this is your time, okay? Because we're talking about the business of fashion. In studio, we have Connie Aluoch. She's a fashion stylist, an editor, an educator, and a creative entrepreneur. We also have Benjamin Ayoro. He's an arts manager, Kenya British Council. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning
to you.
Okay, what do you like about the coast?
The fact that there's no traffic and I was able to go have a breakfast, you know, a nice kebab, some potatoes and chill 20 minutes and then come for the show. Perfect.
Shakula Vezkarai.
It's called Viazi
Karai. Sorry, excuse my Nairobian slang. Yes, excuse my Nairobian slang.
It's called Viazi Karai.
Viazi Karai, got it.
And if you stay here a bit longer, you're going to gain a lot lot of weight.
I know. Apparently, Apparently, because if you have that every day, right?
Yes.
Wow.
And
Shawarma?
Japatana na shawarma.
Oh, yeah. We'll have that shawarma, Salim. That's on you. Lunch on you.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
No problem.
Yeah.
What else do you think she should try?
Yeah.
Ile yako.
Gani?
Chips zege.
Not mkorogo. Okay, so.
What is mkorogo that we don't know about? What is this?
What is that?
Has somebody told you about it?
No.
one has mentioned
What is that?
Okay. So the first time I came to Mombasa, there's a place called Kizingo.
Okay.
And we ordered this thing. It's called, I was told, ask for mkorogo.
Okay.
And we went there.
Yeah.
So it's fries.
Okay.
A mix of, is there chicken and shawarma.
Shawarma.
Yeah, and shawarma. There's a way it's mixed together.
Interesting.
It's so good. So every single time a friend comes from Nairobi, I said we're going to Kizingo.
Oh. So when are we going? When is our date? This evening?
Yes, we can go to Kizingo this evening.
Okay, perfect.
And I think what you love about it is the fact that one beautiful thing about Mombasa is you can sit outside.
Yes, outdoor. Yeah, I love that.
And
fresh
just
air.
chill.
Yeah, perfect. So we're on.
Na ni kama mnafurahi.
Coming from Nairobi, yes.
Trust me.
You don't know.
Fresh air.
Oh my God.
Friendly people.
No stress.
No
stress.
Yeah.
Benjamin, are you still are you also of the opinion that Viazi Karai is your best experience so far?
Viazi Karai? No, so far, I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
For me, Mombasa has always been the biryani.
Oh, interesting.
Nitakutoa kwa biriani, kupeleke kwa mandi.
Mandi. What is mandi?
Biriani hiyo ni outdated.
Oh, wow.
I'm out of date.
Okay, so what is mandi?
Mandi it's more of hiyo wali because biriani si ni wali and na rojo. Either ni mbuzi, kuku. So this one now, nyama ya hiyo mandi. Iko legelege.
Man, it's meat that when you hold it,
just
shakes
it
out. So okay, that one ni kesho evening. Yes, on your Salim kesho lazima. Yeah.
2-day plan.
Yeah, 2-day plan.
Tufanye kipindi.
That's a 2-day plan. Friday, Saturday. Yes, yeah. So
like in Nairobians, when Nairobians come to Mombasa,
yes,
just chaotic.
100%.
Yes.
Huku kwetu sisi ni wapole, hatuna haraka, tunazungumza kwa taratibu.
Look at you who just moved here.
Oh, she's not identifying as a Costarian.
As a Costarian. You are one of us. What happened?
Msilete kelele zenu huku.
Hatutaki ubara.
Sawa sawa.
Yo.
We love you.
Oh my God.
Thank you for gracing us.
Thank you.
Now let's introduce Connie. I know Connie, you're in the fashion industry.
Yes,
but
I am.
for I don't want to say for somebody who does not know you.
Yes.
A bit about what you do.
Yeah.
And how long you've been in the fashion industry.
Great.
Yes.
So it's amazing when I look back. I've been in the industry over 20 years.
Yeah.
Started out, when I was a little girl, there used to be a show on CNN called Stylist with Elsa Clench many years ago. And I always dreamt of working in the fashion industry. So anyone who knows me from Kenya High, I actually just had a reunion on Saturday with my high school, Kenya High, the Kenya High School, the best school in Kenya. Boma. Shout out to anyone in the coast who is from Boma. And my art teacher, Mr. Kanga, was at the reunion on Saturday.
Yeah.
And actually, he is the one who, when my parents used to come for Parents' Day Teachers Association, to go around, maths, chemistry, 2 minutes, my mom is and dad are out. But in the art room, they used to stay there very long because Mr. Kanga's like, Connie has a talent. She's a creative. So support and nurture her because this is where her path is.
Yeah.
And 20 plus years on, I was talking to him on Saturday and he's like, Connie, you see, I told you. I'm glad you stuck to the course.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, especially when you're starting out, because fashion then and now is totally different.
Yeah.
But see where you are now.
Yeah.
So I gave and I had the honor of giving him a gratitude gift on behalf of creatives of my class.
Yeah.
So I felt very honored. So that's how I started out from art room. I'm beginning from basics high school. So I've gone and I've studied both here in Kenya and in New York at the Fashion Institute of Technology, in Milan at Instituto Marangoni, and finally in Kenya just over the last 20 years I've been able to set up a base. I started off also, I've managed to blend both fashion and media.
Yeah.
So I've worked, started when True Love magazine was there, I was the editor for many years, True Love East Africa magazine.
Yeah.
And that's how my name became synonymous in the media. Then I moved on, I worked at Standard Group, Nairobi, a newspaper. I worked there, and most recently at Nation, Business Daily and Sunday Nation.
Yeah.
And then I'm also the fashion editor at Bella Niger. That's West Africa's and Africa's largest media platform, as you know. So I'm the East African representative and correspondent for fashion.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this as I was going through your bio.
Yes.
You made history as the first African fashion tutor at Instituto Marangoni.
Yeah, that's in Milan. Yeah.
What did that milestone mean for you and for the African creative at large?
I think the milestone meant that, me being a representative of, I always talk about Africa and, African fashion as a teacher, that we're able to put Africa on the global map.
Yeah.
And just this year in March, my school, Instituto Marangoni, opened a school in Dubai. Okay. So I went and I gave a guest lecture on just about, emerging African fashion markets. And it was great to see that people are interested in African fashion, the global emerging trends, they know about them aside. I mean, it's great how everyone is exposed. Yeah. So I think for me, my work is to be an ambassador and to be a platform, especially for creatives, not only in Africa, but around, but mainly Kenya and Africa. Yeah. To train and mentor the next, generation of creatives. And this is part of what, we're doing here in Mombasa that we'll talk about with the British Council and the Creative DNA Twende Soko program. So I'm really glad to be a part of it and empower the next generation of creatives. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now you've also worked with global brands. Yes. You've attended New York. Yeah. You've been to Milan, right? Milan Fashion Week, London Fashion Week. Yeah. Which experience most influenced your business philosophy?
I think all experiences have influenced my business philosophy. Yeah. Because there's always something new that you learn. Yeah. And most recently in September, I was at UNGA, the UN 80th celebrations under the creative economy. And I was speaking on the emerging African trends and fashion. So every experience that I go through really opens me up to more opportunities to put Africa on the global map. And most importantly is to mentor. Okay. To mentor and support the next generation of creatives. So at that, when I was speaking, I also met with a lot of creatives and also organizations that support African creatives. And from that, I've been able to, there's many more, initiatives that I'll be doing that comes out, in the next couple of months. Yeah.
Salim had an interesting question this morning. Oh, she's here.
Nimesumbuka sana mimi Connie.
Yeah.
Hapa mahali pa fashion
yes.
na design.
Yes.
Which is which?
All right, so let me explain. So fashion design, cherehani, stitching, sewing, making patterns, that is design.
Oh,
yes.
Kushona. Na kukata. Hiyo ndo design.
Exactly. Now, the difference with styling, because people get it confused. So, designers make. We stylists, we help market the products.
Stylist.
Yes.
So that's the fashion term.
It's fashion.
Oh, fashion.
But it's a fashion stylist.
Okay.
So a stylist doesn't necessarily stitch. Some of them do, but most don't. Okay. So what the stylist does, she's a commercial eye. She's the one who can go and dress, a celebrity wearing Jane designs. Okay. So they're the ones who are able to market the product, make it visible to the consumers. They can give it to me as an editor to write about. So stylist work is important because they are the commercial eye of the designer. They help market the product. Yes.
Stylist ndo wale wanaotoa bidhaa za design. Mshonaji, mkataji.
Okay. Yes, exactly. So that's the difference. That's the difference. So the designer makes, but the stylist helps market the products. Okay. So they market it through, help them, style for a fashion show, or give personalities or people to wear who can market and tag you, Jane Designs or whatever that is. They can give it to fashion editors to write about. So stylists are very important.
Wewe ndo uko na macho ya kuchagua Miriam, because huyu anaweza kukati.
Yes, exactly. Yes, runway. Yes. So Miriam, yes, exactly.
So wewe ndio uko na macho pia ya kuchagua watu ambao watavaa.
Who will wear the dress and it will look fantastic on you and you'll sell your product well. Yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Yes.
Now that has synced in.
It has?
Kukonfuziwa hapa nje nimekuwa confused hapa nje. No, imetoka.
Now you get it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
100%.
As to the sip, kama mtoto mdogo.
Yes, basic explanation.
I love people who teach me.
I'm a teacher. I'm also a teacher, so yes.
So you've learned.
Nimesoma. Mimi mtu kama anajua kazi yake.
Yes.
I know.
You're okay.
Yeah.
You're
okay.
That one is nice.
Benjamin, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
So Benjamin, I'm looking at your background as well. It's consulting, it's partial planning, there's research, and now there's arts management as well. Yeah. What attracted you to the creative economy space?
Well, specifically, I think this came from my background in urban planning, right?
Yeah.
So I did 7 years in urban.
Could you move closer? Yeah. Could I hear you?
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Let's try that again.
Okay, so as I mentioned...
Okay.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, previously I was in the urban planning space, right?
Yeah.
So in urban planning, it was quite vast. I was dealing with a lot of city planning, city management, the whole thing about planning.
Yes.
So while I was doing urban planning, I had the opportunity to interact with a lot of young people. So these are youth people. These are people from high school. They just finished high school. They don't know what they're doing with their lives. So this just began, the passion for getting in the creative space began as sort of like an observation.
Yeah.
I noticed, like from my own experience, so 7 years of doing this, I was training a couple of young people to collect data, to do research. So I realized a lot of people need opportunities. And one thing that I came to notice was, in the urban planning space, it focuses on everyone. But I needed to focus on the young people specifically. So 7 years after that, I decided to hop into the creative space. So I got into an organization by the name of Axel Africa. This is mostly a Japanese consulting organization. And at the time, I was helping manage a fashion-based project. So this is where I got immersed into the whole creative industry, right?
Yeah.
So I was able to interact with a lot of fashion designers. I was even surprised. This is when Connie's name came across my table. This was just like 2 years, I think 2 years now.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know to find myself working with Connie directly. So honestly, this is the first time she's hearing of this.
Yeah, I'm like,
yes. So this was from me attending the Nairobi Fashion Week, East Africa textile fashion. That kind of thing was happening.
Yeah.
So after attending a few of these events and even helping these designers get, their names out there with Axel Africa, I saw the opportunity at the British Council as the arts manager. So my background in planning, in project management, in research, combined with my bit of knowledge when it comes to fashion in the creative space and my passion for actually helping young people, I said this could be an opportunity to actually see the ins and outs of what happens behind the scenes. So this is when I now applied for the British Council. So I've been there for at least, this is my 8th month now.
Oh.
Oh yeah, at the council. However, in the creative space generally, I've been there for like 2 years now in total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to take you back. You said urban planning, and I'm
Yes.
trying to understand. When you say urban planning, what does
What
it
is
mean?
that?
And then
Yeah,
also now the
that's what
shift.
was-
yes.
Yeah.
The shift from urban
Yeah,
planning to
yeah.
now fashion or the creative space.
Yeah.
How did that
How
happen?
that linkage happened.
Yes.
So I'll begin with this one. So urban planning in just broad sense.
Yeah.
This involves the organization of cities and people. That's just the basic understanding of urban planning.
Yeah.
So there's the people component, and then there's the things component. So when it comes to people, this is now where things get interesting. Because with people there's culture, with people there's identity, with people there's spaces.
Yeah.
Like I use this space for A, B, C, D. So when people think of planning, they're like, what is planning? So you start from the basic. When you organize your home, where's the bedroom? Where's the kitchen? Where's the toilet?
Yeah.
Where's the living room, right? That's like a small, we call it on a micro scale, right? Now blow that up to a neighborhood. In the neighborhood, where is Mama Njeri's house? Where is Miss Fatma's house?
Yes.
Where are the walkways? Where are the roads? That's a neighborhood. And then you keep blowing up that scale until you get to the country.
Yes.
So this is now how you look at urban planning from a micro to a macro. So just that's the general perspective. Now my biggest draw to everything was the people. People, their culture. So from culture, I was like, okay, how do people do their thing? I came to Mombasa a few times in the past. I saw how people practice, whether it's their daily activities, their livelihoods. And then now this is where I was drawn into the young people. What are young people doing? And I've noticed over the past few years, a lot of young people in the creative space. A lot of young people. We can talk about fashion, we can talk about music, we can talk about theater, all forms of creativity.
Yeah.
So I was taking note as a planner that I'm seeing a lot of people, either one person is like, mimi ni msanii kutoka, I am a fashion designer from, I am a sketch artist from. So all this I was just taking note. So in my back of my mind I was like, this is something that a lot of people can actually benefit from. But I noticed that the systems are not well put into place to uplift them.
Yeah.
So that's when I saw the opportunity at the British Council, I say, okay, this is something I can actually be part of and be part of assisting these young people live out their dreams to an extent.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was what the pivot brought me to the art space.
All right.
Yeah.
And when you look at the creative industry, what do you think are some of the challenges that young people are facing in the creative industry, whether they're designers or filmmakers or even musicians or even digital creators? What is the challenge?
Well, I'll say one of the biggest challenges is one, exposure.
Okay.
Yeah, the lack of information. You don't know what you're supposed to do where. If you're in the fashion space, who do you need to talk to? Where do you need to get information from? That's the first thing. Secondly is also opportunities. Where do I get these opportunities? I am a singer. I am an artist. All I know are the big artists in Kenya. I am a fashion designer. I can see the Louis Vuittons on the runways. But how do I get my...
How do I get there?
How do I get there? Like, is it really possible?
Yeah.
So that's what now organizations like the British Council Art Department kind of like tries to help these young people see these opportunities. So it's open to everyone. And anybody can apply depending on the criteria that we're using at that particular moment.
Yeah.
So that's now where this issue is coming with the young people of understanding how do I get ahead in life using the creative space. Because, we all understand the trope from some of our parents. You have to be an engineer, you have to be a doctor, you have to be insert major profession.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about Louis Vuitton. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Depending. They are not engineers, they're not doctors. But they are making a living.
Yeah.
How is this possible? So that's when I realized that a lot of people don't know how to get from point A to point B in the creative space. And that's now where the likes of Connie, the likes of the British Council, we come in and try and give them these opportunities.
And Connie, do you think we've really bridged that gap? Because honestly, from what Benjamin is saying, it's true that most of the times your parent will tell you, go study education, go study law, we want you to be a doctor, right? Because then we're able to pinpoint and say, oh, so-and-so's son is a doctor, they're thriving in that area. So-and-so is an engineer, they're thriving in that area. But then when you look at the fashion industry or the creative industry, even a musician, you're thinking, wait, how are you going to make a living?
Yeah.
So have we even bridged that gap with creativity in our country? And how best can we nurture the skills and the talents that young people have, especially for those people who feel like, I just want to grow in the creative industry?
So I want to give an example. Anytime there's an event, whether it's a corporate or a private event, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Entertainment. Who are we going to have either singing, ama kuna DJ, something? That's the first thing. When you think celebration party. So right now, where the creative space is, it's extremely important. Because now people are looking, because even the government, any event, there has to be an element of a creative person involved, whether it's the DJ, whether it's, the sound visuals, whether it's the performing arts, any form. That is how important the creative industry is considered. And I think we've seen how a lot of our artists and all are globally recognized right now. So where we were 10 years ago and now, is very different, because even DJs and all, now there's respect. Right? Still a long way to go, but it's a recognized, career. Now, let me bring it to fashion. I have a lot of parents who call me and like, my daughter wants to do fashion. Will she survive? And I'm like, look at me. Am I breathing? Yes. Do I look alive? Do I look like I'm flourishing?
Yes.
Is it a lot of work? A lot. It's a lot of work. I can tell you, I arrived here late last night. Probably slept for 4 or 5 hours. Because we were busy preparing for the day and the masterclass we have today at Swahili Port from 9 to 5. But I love what I do. If you have passion for what you do, then it doesn't feel like a burden. Right?
I like that.
If you have passion
for
what you do, but you have to be willing to put in the work. And this is what I tell young people. It doesn't come overnight. Some of us have cried tears a lot, day and night. But my mother says hard work never killed anyone. It never did. That's what my mother says.
Love your mother.
Yes. We all love my mother. Shout out to my mom and my dad and my family.
Shout out to them. They raised a good one. They raised a good one.
For real, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love that. So Benjamin, when we look at you support implementation of major programs like Creative DNA, there's Sanara, and then there's Twende Soko.
Yeah.
What is the vision behind these programs?
Well, each of these programs have a different vision, right?
Okay.
So I'll just give like a short breakdown of what each program is about.
Go ahead.
And then I'll provide some more information on the same. So I'll start with just Creative DNA as a whole, right? So Creative DNA is a British Council program that it emerged to support growing stage fashion designers in Kenya and to strengthen the creative practice in general. So Creative DNA in itself, it's not just purely in Kenya, right? So I'm only going to speak of the Kenyan aspect, but best believe Creative DNA is across Africa. They're in multiple different countries. And the main thing about Creative DNA, right? Under the British Council, this more links the relationship between the UK and all these African countries, right? So we're looking at all the creatives across the board. So it could be creatives from the UK, how they relate to the African creatives, or African creatives, how they relate to the UK. So that's just in general and broad understanding of Creative DNA.
Okay.
So if I'm to give it a bit more information, so the main thing that Creative DNA addresses under this program are business support, research insight, policy and advocacy, and storytelling. So these are the main components that Creative DNA targets.
Yeah.
So as a global program. And in this case, when I'm talking about Africa, I'll speak of sub-Saharan Africa, right? So these are countries like Senegal, Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe. These are the countries where Creative DNA has actually been implemented and is currently going on. So under the Creative DNA program, in the Kenyan market or in the Kenyan perspective, it's been successful in the past 4 years. Since 2020. That's 5 years now?
5 years, yeah.
And in those 5 years, there have been 4 iterations, right, of the Creative DNA program. So we had cohort 1, cohort 2, cohort 3, and cohort 4.
Okay.
So the last cohort happened in 2023. Now, of course, we do understand with COVID and all, but we still found a way to be able to do it even despite the COVID, the pandemic that happened, and to still empower the young people. So in general, I would say the Creative DNA program has been able to empower 71 businesses successfully from the different cohorts. Secondly, 21 businesses have benefited through seed grants. So there's also a granting component that is in every cohort. So these seed grants now, aside from just giving them the training and the education, some of them also compete for grants. So one thing about the British Council that we do when it comes to grants, we have this thing called, it's a competitive grant.
Yeah.
Once you've participated in the program, you're given an opportunity to apply for the grant. How have you compartmentalized and organized your information for how you're going to run your business? So in the case of now fashion, if you're a fashion entrepreneur and you've joined the program and you've got the training, how well have you grasped the concepts of each of these programs, right?
Yeah.
And then you present it as a proposal, you apply, and you get the grant. So the grant will assist to boost your business, boost your marketing capabilities, create your opportunities, and also even in the social media managing side of things. Because we're in the social media age at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So everything we do is on social media. So generally, I think as a whole, I would say that is what Creative DNA is.
Okay, if you're looking at Creative DNA, who gets to apply for
target market?
Yeah, who's the target market?
Target market. So I'll start with the age bracket, right?
Okay.
So we do target the youth in general,
Okay.
18 to 35, and we also have an EDI policy, right? So inclusivity, diversity, and equity. So meaning anybody can apply who is in part of the youth, right?
Yes.
We're trying to empower the youth. We're not trying to limit anybody, whether it's persons living with disability, whether it's women who are not given as much power or as much, effort. So we do target these specific marginalized groups that are in these spaces. And this is anybody who has the interest in fashion. It could be, Ali, you've just started. You don't even know where you're going.
Yeah.
You've begun with, I just opened up an Instagram page. I'm trying to sell insert product. It could be bracelets. It could be clothes, whatever it is. But you don't have the business acumen, you don't know how to market your product.
Yeah.
This is now how we get the people in the creative space to build their skills so that they can actually make a living out of this.
Okay.
Yeah, because Connie has mentioned it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, you have to be a doctor to make money. You have to be a
Yes.
doctor to make a living. That's not the case. If you understand the ins and outs of every industry, it follows more or less a similar procedure. Understand the industry, put in the work, get the opportunities, push your product, and at one point down the line, you'll eventually get the benefits from it.
And you've said you've done up until 4 cohorts right
4
now,
cohorts,
right?
yeah.
So let's say the first, for what period though? When you say the cohort 1, and when I enroll in this Creative DNA program, how long will I be there, for what period? And as a fashion designer, somebody who's interested in fashion, right? What would be an outcome for me?
An outcome.
Yes.
Okay, so different cohorts, different periods. So I'll
Yes.
mostly speak about this period for Connie.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is what is actually live.
Yes.
And is actually what is happening at the moment. So what happens is, right, this is supposed to be a program that's been running from November all the way till March, right? So in this period of time, we have multiple components of this program. So we have the master classes and the pop-ups. So for the case of Connie, this will be happening in 3 cities, right? So the first city already happened in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Now we're in Mombasa, and then the next city will be Nakuru. So for each masterclass, this is a day event. A masterclass is a day event. You get different training from e-commerce, from social media marketing to pricing your product, etc, etc. You can find all this information through the masterclasses, right?
Yes.
So this is happening both in person and online. So it's a hybrid session situation, right?
Okay.
So this is a one-day program. This one-day program will give you the knowledge and the skills to understand. Now, from there, what happens is a lot of the people who've attended these masterclasses from Nairobi, for example, they form groups. And then you're also in touch with Connie directly and in touch with the British Council as well. So if you ever sort of through the groups, if you need any information or asks, you can get it from there. Then the next step is the pop-ups, 2-day pop-ups. So these 2-day pop-ups we'll have a number of vendors who have applied as well, and they'll come and present their products. So you get to see the master classes, the training, and then you get to see sort of like the outcome. This is what the master classes are, and this is what we have in store in terms of the pop-ups. So
Okay.
these young people can see the training, and then they see it in person.
Yeah.
This is your product. This is how you design it.
This
This
is
is
how
how
you
you
sell it.
This is how you sell it. This is how you
Okay.
brand it. Yeah.
So for the pop-ups, are this now from from those who are part of the cohorts, or
So what we've done, we did an open call. So like
Okay.
for the masterclass today, that's happening at Heliport, from 9, beginning another, half an hour.
yes?
We did an open call. My social media is at Connie Aluoch. So my social media is quite a big platform where a lot of people can engage and get information. So basically you just register and it's free, open to everyone, and anyone can come today.
Yeah.
Same thing for the designers from Mombasa. All the designers who will be at the City Mall, Nyali Mall from tomorrow 9 to 5 are all Mombasa-based designers. So we're very specific. The registration details are on my Instagram link at Connie Aluoch. So when you apply, we ask you, what area are you in? Because we want to give everyone a chance. So Nairobi people, we did it. It went really well.
Yeah.
Now we want to focus on Mombasa creatives. And that's what we'll be doing today at the masterclass, and then tomorrow, Friday and Saturday at the City Mall, Nyali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, and probably you have seen it online. It's
Yeah.
a Creative DNA 20 so local masterclass in
Yeah.
Mombasa.
Yeah.
What should I expect as somebody who might want to actually attend this masterclass?
Great. First of all, you need to be on your way there. If not,
Yes.
wake up and move, guys. Mombasa,
way,
we need
on
to
the
be at
way.
Swahili Port Hub now in another
Yes,
20
please.
minutes.
Yes, please.
If not, just keep coming. So this morning we're going to learn about e-commerce fashion with one of our partners, Victor Murithi, who's just flown in from Nairobi today. And then later on, within midday to afternoon, we're going to hear from Mombasa designers. Again, we're very intentional, right? So we're going to have one who'll just tell us about how his consumer, how he's able to target the local Kenyan consumer and the international consumer. He'll also have a pop-up tomorrow at the City Mall Nyali. So we want to hear from Mombasa designers. How have you done it? How do you sell? Because it also needs to be relatable. I'm a designer in Mombasa,
Yes.
right? For the audience. We don't want to bring someone from Nairobi. No, you tell us here. Then also later in this afternoon, we'll have another designer who's done really well on her social medias, talking about how she's been able to market and grow her brand within the coast area.
Yes.
So everything we do is very relatable. So we're going to have discussions, Q&A, just a few presentations online. It's going to be a very interactive session. And then tomorrow, the whole day at the, City Mall Nyali from 9 to 5, come and see the products. Because again, we are all about action.
Yeah.
We talk and we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a fashion stylist, you
Yeah.
built your brand and you mentioned 20 years,
Yeah.
right? And one might say, what does it take to build such a brand all the way to 20 years? It takes a lot.
It does.
Could you break it down?
I'll break it down simply. It's God, my faith.
Yes.
Very important. You have to have, whatever your form of faith is,
Good.
right? Respectively, you have to have some faith.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, you have to be willing to put in the work. Especially, I always tell my younger generation, younger brothers and sisters, it's not going to happen overnight. This is me 20 years on. I'll say again, the amount of tears, because me, I have cried.
Yeah.
And my friends and my family, I have cried.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is you cry, you wake up the next day, you're like, let's do this. And, even working with Benjamin, there are days Benjamin's like, are you alive? I'm like, no, I'm tired. But as a creative, it happens.
Yes.
And even as a human being.
It does.
Like, we had a meeting on Monday, I could barely talk. I was like, Benjamin, I'm tired. He's like, okay, Connie, we have this to do this week. I'm like, yeah, I know, because we have weekly meetings. But we're human beings. So we must understand that some days are going to be low.
Yeah.
But some days are going to be high. But this is not the time to give up, right? You can't.
Yeah.
You can take a day off, but tomorrow you have to get back. Because if you give up, then what? What does it show? What are you doing for yourself, right? So you have to be very resilient, and you have to be form alliances and partnerships with others in the creative industry.
Yeah.
Photographers, stylists, other designers, other creatives, so that when you need a project and you have to do a photo shoot, call the photographer and like, look, let's collaborate. I can give you clothes, or I can give you this, or I can get the location. Then you have a makeup artist and you have models. That's how we do it. Right? How we're here at Swahili Port today is because one of the designers, Tony, also is a designer, but also works within Swahili Port's team. Right? So never met him. But we were supposed to have done a project a few years ago that, didn't quite work out. So I called him, look, we're coming, we're doing this masterclass. Like, great. Let me make sure you have an interview. Look at that. Collaboration, from never met him. I'm meeting him later today.
Yeah.
Your network, really, your social capital, honestly, in today is everything.
It matters.
Yeah.
I like that. For many people, when we look at fashion, we look at it as something that's glamorous, right?
Yes.
But what is the real business behind fashion, and what mindset should designers and stylists adopt to succeed?
You need to have a business sense. And if I'm a creative, and a lot of us creatives, when it comes to numbers, I close my eyes. I don't want to deal with numbers. But you need to understand the basics of your business.
Okay.
What is the inflow? What is the outflow? How much do I need to keep the lights on? How much do I pay my tailors? Pricing. What am I doing to price these products? Am I underpricing myself? Most often than not, and from our experience with Benjamin in the masterclass, people are undermining themselves and underpricing. Right? And it's okay if a customer doesn't want to buy your product. It's not for everyone. We need to learn to let customers go. Don't call them, Sasa Beya Gioni. No, this is the price. If you don't want it, it's okay. I can even refer you to other people.
Yeah.
Once you're confident in you, who you are as a person, as a designer, as a creative, it's okay. You're not for everyone. Some will pay for your product and some will not. And you need to learn to know that it's okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a financial or business mistake?
I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I would say it's a learning
lesson.
process. Yeah. Where I gave a quote to a client and then they're like, "Oh, only." I was like, "Oh no."
Oh, I know the feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
I think all of us have experienced that.
Yes.
Huh? Okay, we'll
Pricing
pay
yourself.
now. I'm like, no, I should have. Then in my mind, I'm like, I should have paid. I should have, given more,
Yes.
a higher quote. So now I'm very particular.
Yeah.
When someone calls me, no, I need it now. I'm like, no, you can't call me now and ask for a price now, right? Especially if it's for projects or something.
Yes.
I'm like, give me maximum 1 hour.
Yeah.
At least. People who are already rushing already know that project, it'll be rushed and stress and all. And I've also learned now to say no. I don't have to do every job. Last week I got a call for a job on Friday to produce a fashion show today in Nairobi on Thursday. I'm like, no. I first of all, I won't even be there.
Yeah.
And then number two, sometimes it's you don't have to say yes to every job. Yes, I need the money, but sometimes when I look at the dynamics, it's also my reputation on the line. Because if it doesn't happen or it's not pulled off properly, that Connie, she said she could do the project. Sasa angalia.
Yeah. She didn't do the project.
Exactly.
And they
Brand
give you a week's
reputation.
notice. Yeah.
You've asked me how over 20 years.
Yes.
It's reputation. Brand reputation.
I like
I'd rather
that.
say no to a job and say, let me give you someone else, than be associated with it, and then knowing that the timelines and all, because with experience you learn, can I do this? Same for designers. Someone was calling me yesterday morning, a client, I need a tuxedo made by tomorrow morning.
From where?
Exactly. So I just said, to make myself happy, let me call two designers. They're like, Connie, it's December. Are you mad? Everyone's busy with, Christmas events and everything. So I just told them, just go to the shops and buy. No, every designer's like, nope, I don't have time. I don't have time to make it. No. And that's when you realize that the orders you can take, you can supply. Very important. Whether you're a designer or whether you're creative, don't double book yourself. If you're a musician and you have an event from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then someone wants to book you at 12, don't say, I can do it. You can't.
True.
Yeah, don't be greedy. Also. Yeah.
Don't be greedy.
Don't be greedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Salim is like, yeah.
That's the thing that is killing us.
Killing who?
Better to do a good job than a
Yeah.
rush
So
job.
many
Yeah.
people.
Right?
Yeah.
It's better to do a good job than a rush job, because if you rush it, you mess up.
Yes.
You ruin your reputation. All it takes is just one mistake and your reputation is gone.
Yeah.
But if you take time, you say no to some opportunities. You're like, let me make sure I have crafted my skill, and I've
do it for
crafted
the
my
design.
ideas well enough,
Do it
where
before.
if somebody calls me, I've
Yeah.
done adequate research on this person.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people are like, this company is calling. I want the opportunity.
Yes.
But you don't take time and say, wait, you've not
Am I
done your
ready?
research.
Yeah,
Are you
am I
ready for this?
ready?
Because
Yeah.
it's a big, big responsibility at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you have to take your time. Even if, as Connie said, just take that 1 hour.
Yeah, just think it through.
Think it through, do the
Yeah.
research, see the
Yeah,
capacity you
yeah,
have, see
yeah.
what they're asking for.
Yeah.
If you have people in the background who can assist, focus on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Than saying yes and then you realize I can't do
I
this.
can do it, and then
Yeah.
you start scrambling.
You start scrambling, because if you mess up once,
That's it. Your
What
That's
goes
your
out?
reputation.
Reputation
That's it.
gone.
That's what
What
I was
goes
saying.
out?
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think most importantly, as what has also helped me in my career is mentors. And they don't necessarily have to be in fashion, right? The team I work with, Benjamin, knows actually they're not, my strategist, my project manager and all, they are not fashion people. But the fundamentals are the same. Strategy
Yeah.
for any business, whatever it is. What is the inflow, whatever, what is how we're going to reach Mombasa, where we're going, who's the target market, what is the best location to do a pop-up,
Yeah.
what is the best day to do a pop-up. I mean, it goes, my team have gone down and analyzed to the very bottom.
Yeah.
Sunday for a pop-up, no. Right? Not in Mombasa. Right? Friday, Saturday, holiday, weekend, easy. Location where the most people, most
Yes.
traffic. You need to have people around you
Yeah.
who can support you. And I've been blessed to have that
I
in
like
my
that.
career.
Today there's going to be a masterclass at Swahili Pot Hub Foundation. It's supposed to start at 9, but we're giving you an allowance to be able to get ready and leave the house and be there by 9:30, because Connie will be teaching you everything around the business of fashion. Later on, there will be a pop-up at City Mall. That is tomorrow. From
Yes.
what time?
So tomorrow, Friday 12th, our holiday,
Yes.
9 to 5, and Friday, and then Saturday, same City Mall Nyali, 9 to 5. Free
Yes.
entry, come ground floor.
Please
Yes,
show
come
up.
check out the designers.
Yeah.
Talk, interact with me. I'm happy to answer all your questions about fashion and the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Now, Ben, Mimi swali langu litakuja kwako and then Connie hapa ataongezea. Umezungumzia youth, vijana, that is 18 to 35. Huku kwetu ni 34 lakini wanasemanga 35. I know the details.
Why are you trying to remove other people from the youth age bracket?
Kama uko 35 hauko.
Who is that?
Ni 34 mwisho. I went somewhere.
Okay.
So my question is, it seems the youth are not the problem kuhusiana na masuala ya kujoin fashion and design and what have you, kufika mahali Connie amefika na wewe venye uli pivot kwenye ball set. Tunasemanga kuna midfield pivot, wawili wakipanda wakishambulia. Now if wao sio tatizo nao kulingana na Connie ni wazazi, because washamcall wakamuuliza anaweza toboa. So ni kitu gani ambacho tunaweza tukafanya kwa hawa wazazi kuwaondoa hiyo hofu ya kwamba wanasimama na kwamba it's either wewe ni doctor, wewe ni pilot, wewe ni dereva wa meli, and hizo zinaitwa lucrative careers. So what is it that tunaweza fanya tukaondoa hawa wazazi kwenye hiyo mindset?
Yeah. So I'll say it like this. So the thing about parents, bless them all and all they've given to us, because we do appreciate what they've done for us. The one thing that they lacked in their time is exposure. Yeah, let's be very honest, because exposure mostly came with the internet.
Yeah.
When was the birth of the internet? 1998, right?
Umeanza kuwagonga.
Hapana, wacha tujaribu
unasema ikutoke.
Wacha tuiseme vizuri. Kwa sababu the thing is, it's not that we are mean on them, but they came from a different time.
Yes.
And the thing is, we can never blame people from the time that they came in, because things change all the time. I mean, right now in the current age, if you are out of social media for even 2 years, you're already behind.
Yeah, forgotten.
Ushapitwa na wakati.
Yeah.
So if you're an influencer, for example, and you don't show anything influential for the past 2 years, you become extinct. That's how fast the industry is moving, right? So for the parents, we cannot necessarily change them from who they are and how they are.
Yes.
What we can just show them is we have different opportunities in the creative space, right? The same way you'd respect a doctor, you'd respect an engineer, you can also respect an art designer. Because let's be honest, we wear so many things every day blindly, we don't know where they're from. There's a nice shirt you wore. There's a nice watch you're wearing. There's a nice pair of shoes you're wearing. There's this nice painting you saw the other day. There's this nice music you heard. You don't know the artist, but you are listening to. And it wakes you up in the morning when you're going to work, when you're going about your day-to-day activities. So as much as people don't consider these skills as major, they are influential in our day-to-day lives. Even the way our children are, and even the way our young brothers and sisters are. The songs they sing, the way they dress, this influences our whole culture. And now it's become a multi-billion-dollar industry across the globe. So once you are able to show the parents that, look, this is not just I am a fashionista. No, I am a designer who understands my craft. Mimi ni msanii. No, I am an artist who understands my craft. So once you tell your parent, Dad, it takes around 6 years to go through medical school, right?
Yes, true.
Sindio, to get just the first training. You have to be under a resident once you get to the hospital, who now gives you guidance and training, right? Before you become an even fully fledged physician or a doctor. Same thing with art. There are people who've been there before you. We've been having art since before video, since before radio. We've always had multiple different artists, and it's always been a skill to sell. So once you show the parents that, look, this is the history of art, this is the history of the creatives. We've had different creatives. You know that music you liked so much, ile Daudi Chwa, huyo pia ni
Daudi Kabaka.
Daudi Kabaka.
Belilimani DCC Park. Wow.
Ulikuwa unasema
Mbawanyika.
Kabaka Daudi Chwa, Kabaka Daudi Chwa. You see, it is
age is showing. Age is showing.
Tumeanza
kuongea. But basically, but you see, now we have the Kabaka Daudi Chwa.
Now we know.
And we have the Ochunglo families of today, right?
Yes.
There's a history between Daudi Kabaka and Ochunglo family.
Yeah.
Right? There's a whole history. It's not that he happened and it died off. It kept on building and building. So the same history we have with the I'll stick with doctor because that's the most famous profession.
Yeah.
We had medicine from the late 1800s, 1900s, and till to date, right?
Yes.
It has evolved over time. So has creative space.
Yeah.
So has the industry. The creativity is there, but how we package it, how we earn from it, has completely changed. And that's what we need to show our parents. Show them, look at the history of art. The same way we look at the history of the world and the history of doctors and engineers, we also need to give art the same energy.
Yeah.
And I think once you show the parents this, they'll completely understand. It might take them a while for some of them. Some are already on board. That's why they even contact Connie, they contact us, they say, my son is ABC, my daughter is ABC, my child is doing ABC, how can you assist with this?
Yeah.
So once they understand the whole space, not the whole space completely, but just a brief history of understanding, they'll be able to be on board on this.
And I think I like that. I would add it to with what Connie said, that you honestly have to put in the work, right? When you go and plead your case with your parent and you say, this is what I want to pursue, now it's upon you to actually put in the work and ensure that this can actually happen for me. I like that. Benjamin, let's talk about creative DNA Sanara. When you look at that program, how does the program support wellness for creatives and entrepreneurs? And also begin with, what does it do when I enroll under the creative DNA Sanara? What should I expect?
Okay, first and foremost, I'll just give a brief background
Go ahead.
of how we came to Sanara, right? So Sanara in itself is a program launched by the MasterCard Foundation. So MasterCard Foundation launched this program as a look into the creative economy, right? So for this case, we have the fashion component. This is where the British Council comes in. So this particular program had a partnership. So MasterCard Foundation, in partnership with Hiva Fund, the Go Down Arts Culture, as well as Baraza Media Lab, came together as a consortium and decided to launch the Sanara program. So the Sanara program in itself, under the fashion component where we come in, the British Council was brought in as a scaling partner. So as the scaling partner, our target was to train young people between the ages of 18 to 35. And the target is 70% women across different counties. Now, the counties that Sanara will be in, for this case, is Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, Kakamega, Mombasa, and Turkana. Right? So as you can see, we're very widespread. We're not just limiting to Nairobi, Mombasa. No, we said, no, this time around, we have to go as far as Turkana. Because as our people who are in Turkana, they also have creatives, and we've seen some of their work. So this is now a thing that came up from the Sanara program. So now from Sanara program, as the British Council are the scaling partners, we'll be working together with our partner, Marigat Gold Enterprises. So Marigat Gold, in this case, they have a different skill set. So like Connie with Creative DNA Tunde Soko, she has that experience in fashion. So Marigat we've been working together with Marigat through and through the years. They've been part of some of the cohorts of the Creative DNA. And they're coming in as to assist with the curriculum, setting up the curriculum, training young people. So in the scope, unlike the master classes here, for the Creative DNA Sanara, it's more lengthy, right? So there'll be a 9-day training program. So this will happen in a span of 3 weeks. So for these 9 days, this will be happening in each of the 6 countries that I have mentioned. So we're beginning it in Nairobi in January. We'll also come to Mombasa, yes, but we're starting with Nairobi. So we're now targeting a wider group of people. So we're hopefully targeting 300 participants, trainees, who are going to be part of these classes. So as I mentioned, this is a 9-day intense training, right? So unlike Tunde Soko, where it's a 1-day program, this is multiple and continuous. And this will involve multiple different things. And this is purely under fashion. So we'll have the technical production skills. So this includes garment construction, pattern cutting, so the design aspect, the designing. And then we have the creative development and design process so that it's tailored for the local context. Like we mentioned, we cannot bring a designer from Nairobi to train people in Mombasa. It has to be a designer from Mombasa who understands the Mombasa context. So we'll have training of trainers who will be training people in this programs, right? In the 9-day program. So these trainers of trainers will come from those various counties. People will become successful from the specific counties and they understand the program. And then the other thing that will be part of the training will be basic business skills. So we also mentioned this and we discovered this with Tunde Soko. A lot of people don't know how to cost the pricing of their products. They don't know about record keeping, numbers, what is my cash flow, how much am I making, what is coming in, what is going out, what is my profit margin, what are my losses. So these are the kind of training that will be happening for Sanara. And finally, we have the digital and creative tools. Social media marketing, as we mentioned. everybody is on social media, but very few people know how to use social
it. Yeah.
to benefit themselves. And then we'll prepare now, after this training, we'll prepare these trainees for the business itself, what it means to run an entrepreneurial business in the fashion space, right? So, okay, you have your tailors, you have your brand, you have your product, you understand social media. Now, how do you maintain your business in the long run so that it feeds you for a longer period of time? And then finally, as I had mentioned over and over again, we are trying to be as inclusive as possible.
Yeah.
I know there's always that, I call it a red tape, where a lot of people who are in marginalized groups, once they see, oh, the British Council is coming, that is not ours. But that's not the case. If anything, our goal is to pull in as many people in marginalized community as possible.
Yeah.
That's why even we put our target number as 300. Because we know there's so many people, but due to either societal issues, whether it's family-related issues, whether it's, in the case of Turkana, we do have a lot of refugees who are there. We're also going for them. We're not just leaving them out, because they're still part of us as a country, and they're still part of us as a creative space. So we'll be targeting them as well. So that's generally in brief what Sanara will be about and what we'll be covering. And it's very linked to Twende Soko because it's under the same program, Creative DNA.
Okay. Yeah. How can young people position themselves to benefit from British Council programs?
British Council programs.
Yeah.
So one thing that we normally do, and I normally encourage a lot of people whenever they reach out, we have our websites, right? There's the British Council website, Kenyan website, and we also have our Instagram pages that you can find us on. There's the at East Africa Arts, that is on Instagram, and then we also have the British Council website. So anybody who is seeking any opportunity at the British Council, I do encourage them to go through these different platforms. We tend to do a lot of advertisements for different grant opportunities, for different application opportunities. They're always there. We'll always have programs running, right? So we'll present them, and anybody who logs in can find these opportunities.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like I'd mentioned, like for example, we have the Creative DNA. Under Creative DNA, we have Twende Soko and we have Sanara. On our Instagram pages, we've presented the different posters and banners for these two programs. So anybody can apply. So generally, it's open to all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Connie, when you look at our industry, the fashion industry, in terms of consumption with us as Kenyan citizens, do we consume our own product in relation to fashion?
I think I'll start with myself. I'm wearing a designer from the Nairobi pop-up that we had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kovu Couture, she's called Joy. Okay. And she's actually the young designer who designed the outfits for Olympics, what the red, dresses that were very famous that the athletes wore.
Yes.
That's her. So I'm wearing her today. Are we wearing made in Kenya now? Yes.
We are.
Much more than Kenya. Perfect example. I always say, let me start with myself.
Yes.
Right? And I always encourage designers, if you're a creative coming to either the pop-up or the masterclass, wear your own creations. How do you market? Basics of branding and marketing. Right? Start with yourself.
Start with yourself.
You're your own walking billboard.
Yeah.
If you tell me you're a designer and then you're wearing your own clothes, then how am I going to believe in your product? Yeah. So we need to be our own brand ambassadors.
Yeah.
And we need to be very intentional about marketing ourselves on social media. Social media has, what you need is data, right? And that's it. Once you have data, whether it's, 250, 500, 1,000, whatever it is, you can put your products and you push. And that's why I talk about the power of collaboration. So if you go on my social media, my Instagram at Connie Aluoch, what I did with every designer, the pop-up, I did videos with them. I showcased, their products, what they have. Yeah. I tagged them. That is power of collaboration. And through that, even after the pop-up in Nairobi, they've continued to get sales. That is the power of being strategic and marketing and collaboration. Yeah. And the same thing we'll do in Mombasa.
I was watching an interview, I think back then, with it's icon Chris
Njoki.
Yes. And she talked about how she was leveraging social media. And for her, she was talking about COVID period and how COVID, honestly, for her, in as much as a lot of people hurt during COVID, it boosted her business. Yes. She grew in terms of that. What would you tell designers or even stylists who are still trying to figure out the element of social media and how to use it for their benefit?
So first of all, you need to sit down and think, okay, what is my plan?
Yeah.
So I'll give an example of myself. I take time every day or every other day to plan out my social media.
Okay.
Right? So even my posts, you have to be very intentional and strategic about everything you do. It goes down to your social media because my social media is my office. I take it very seriously. right?
Yeah.
It's my office. I take it seriously. So already, as you've seen, I've come with my team of, photographer. Yes. So I need my content by the end of day.
Mm-hmm.
So that means either I'll stay up late or I'll wake up tomorrow early by 5 a.m. and I go through and I create what needs to be posted.
Yeah.
The intentionality in my posting also is what has helped my brand grow.
Okay.
I'll tell you that by beginning of my postings, when I started it's Instagram, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, or whatever years ago, I never used to show my face. I just used to post the products. And Victor, who's my social media strategist, he's been with me from the start.
Yeah.
He's like, Connie, people want to see you. They want to relate with a person, not only product. So for designers, show your process of every day. Okay, even when you're drafting, when you're drawing, when you're thinking through your creative process, share some tidbits with us. You have TikTok, you have Instagram. People want to be part of the process so that they can understand. Okay, guys, today the team, we are drafting. We have wedding dresses to make for December 20th.
Yes.
So we have 5 dresses. These are the patterns. Just involve your consumers.
Yes.
Because that is how you build an audience where they build trust. Credibility, like, okay, this is her team, this is what she does, and that's how you grow your audiences. And then again, I keep saying collaborations. It really helps when we do collaborative posts, even with the East African Arts. That's British Council on Instagram. My following has also grown because their followers, follow me and reverse.
Yeah.
So it's all about strategy and collaboration, and you have to be intentional. You can't post today. Some of the entries we're getting. For designers to participate in the pop-up. Someone has not posted in 4 years.
Oh.
4 years.
Can't work.
Guys, we're in a generation where things are instant.
Yes.
It's every 2 seconds. And then our attention span is this short.
Yeah.
If I look and I don't see any, you posted 2020, bye.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
So consistency really
Consistency,
matters.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Nimepata kitu.
Yeah.
Umpata nini?
Hii statement yake ya mwisho
Gani?
kuhusiana na huko online.
Sasa situlizo.
You look so serious. I'm like, yo, very serious.
Sababu
Yeah.
I've seen so many people. Mimi kwanza those people actually since nijapa. My pictures ndo zinaapia sana online just because they have to appear.
Have to appear,
because people are taking photos and what is posted. But mimi ukienda back 1 year ago, 2 years ago, utapata tu ni maneno na picha za watu wengine.
We want to see you. Yeah, we want to see you.
No, being in the creative space, you have no choice but to be
that
visible.
one.
Yeah, we have, yes.
So
we have to
umepata
see
kitu.
you.
Yes, maana nimekwambia
You need
nimepata
to be
kitu.
seen.
I have to be seen.
And post your picture with other people.
Yes.
So
And then they
of
tag
course,
you cross tag.
Si hata mi siku hizi post picha yangu na yake.
Yeah.
Watu wengine pia si mimi pekee.
Tunazungumza in terms of business.
Out of
Yo.
Amekuja haraka.
Amekimbia.
Mombasa people.
Tubaki tu kwa line ya business. Entrepreneurship na hiyo na kazi.
Ni sawa tu. Connie,
Yes.
how would you describe where the Kenyan fashion industry stands today?
We're in a very exciting juncture.
Yeah.
Benjamin just mentioned, I think it was earlier in August or September.
Yeah.
They were at African Fashion Week in London.
Yeah.
Who knew that 10 years ago we'd have designers on that, kind of platform?
True.
Right now we're seeing designers on so many global platforms. We're seeing designers being recognized. There's this international platform, Business of Fashion.
Yeah.
We have a designer, Katungulu Mwendwa. She was mentioned. I think she was the only Kenyan designer mentioned in that. Every year they give a list of, recognizable movers and shakers within the global fashion industry.
Yeah.
Who knew would be there? We have, we have models, we have creatives, we have everyone everywhere. So the future is promising.
It is.
It's so bright. I'm even like, my God, I can't see. But we have to put in the work.
I like that.
Yes.
Benjamin, let's talk about the So Creative e-learning.
Yes. So
the e-learning.
The e-learning platform, right?
Yes.
So now for the e-learning platform, it's not just restricted to fashion, but it's mostly open to the creative industry, right?
Okay.
To all creatives. So currently, as we're working with Connie, we have this So Creative e-learning platform, and we have a few of our partners who are trying to promote it across the country right now, right? So you'll definitely see if anybody's out there and they notice something about So Creative, this is what it's about, right? So I'll go and break it down slow by slow.
Right.
So I mentioned about we talked about the fashion industry working, putting yourself out there, etc., right?
Yeah.
And these two different programs, Twende Soko and Sanara. But now we have an active training platform, e-learning platform at the British Council website that does assist young entrepreneurs. And like I mentioned, you might be coming in with zero knowledge, but you're interested in the fashion space. But you don't know where to start. Maybe you're saying you want to sell a dress or a shirt or a pair of shoes. Or maybe you're an artist or something, anything in the art space, right? So you're coming in and you don't know exactly where to start. So you come to our e-learning platform. So generally what the So Creative e-learning platform is, it's a free online source, so anybody can access at the end of the day at the British Council website. And it provides access to training for aspiring young stage creatives and creatives and entrepreneurs across Africa.
Okay.
So the good thing is, it's not just in Kenya, it's across Africa. So if anybody's listening out there from Uganda, from Tanzania, they can still find the e-learning platform and use it, right? Specific for their country.
Yeah.
Now, for the case of Kenya, Kenya is a big fashion space. It's big on fashion.
Yeah.
That is like, I think, one of our biggest creative aspect. And this was brought about through a research that was done previously, and it was determined that Kenya is when you look at across Africa, across the board, we do have a very active, proactive and reactive fashion space. So we react to global trends and we act according to local trends. So it's a very nice mix and mesh of everything. So on this platform in general, some of the courses that are offered, we have creative entrepreneurship. This is the first course that is offered there.
Yeah.
So it turns ideas into viable creative businesses. So you just have an idea, but you need to make it a living, real thing that's actually working.
Yes.
So there's creative businesses, managing finances, branding and marketing, raising capital, and understanding these business models that we keep talking about. How do you know about a business? How do you run a different business based on the business model? The next thing is now the social impact and creative entrepreneurship. We talked about social media. So this needs to have a social impact. So in today's trend, we have this thing where people are more keen on ethical fashion. I don't know if you've heard something regarding ethical fashion. So ethical fashion, this now is more tied towards sustainability as well as where you're sourcing your materials from. So Connie mentioned that people want to hear a story. How did you get to the point where you're at? It's not an inhuman thing.
Yeah.
The shirt you're wearing, the trouser you're wearing, how did this designer come to this point?
Yes.
So that history. So this is now for understanding ethical fashion practices, inclusivity, sustainability, and the social roles of creatives enterprise, right?
Yeah.
We talk about doctors, we talk about engineers, but creatives also have a part to play in society. And as we were joking earlier, we know something about a creative, but we don't know where we know it from. But you grew up hearing it or learning about it.
Yeah.
Those two nice shoes you used to wear as a child, that nice music that was playing during Christmas, or the Christmas outfit,
Yes.
Everything is tied to creativity. Everything that we dress, every experience that we have, because without creativity, the world would be quite bland if you think about it.
Yeah.
We'd just be looking like monotones.
Yeah. Yes.
One thing moving forward. But creativity brings life to society.
Yeah.
So with the creative space, that's what happens with the social impact for these entrepreneurs. And then finally, we have the creative economy policy that we have. So we need to understand how the creative sector functions and how policy affects industries across Africa. So each country has policies, right? And we do have a limitation that the creative industry has not been sponsored as many other professions.
Yeah.
So now this is where we're getting at. There are different policies that support the creative industry, whether it's from the government or whether it's locally, whether it's from globally. So there are different policies that support this. And in general, as I had mentioned, the people who are served, we have the early stage creatives and cultural workers. We have youth who are trying to explore the creative space. We have practitioners. They have been in the industry. They have been working. But there's just that thing that's remaining for them to get to the next level. So they come through the platform. And then generally anybody who's flexible in just self-learning. Because, sometimes the classroom might not be the best place for people. So somebody is busy, ako ofisi, somebody has an interest but doesn't have the time.
Yeah.
So this is a very flexible platform for them.
I think you can. It's brilliant. What I'm picking from it is if I were to get on board, I'd look at branding and marketing. I'm looking at a few things that I could actually learn from. Yeah. Thank you so much for making time today, Connie and Benjamin. What's your parting shot, Connie?
I think, first of all, masterclass. Have you woken up, showered, dressed? Yep. Let's meet in the next, 20 minutes to half an hour.
Yeah.
So Heliport, we're there from 9 to 5. Lots to learn, engage, network. Again, I will keep on talking about collaborations.
Yes.
It's free entry. Just register and come. Tomorrow, again, City Mall Nyali. That's Friday the 12th. Saturday the 12th, City Mall Nyali, 9 to 5.
Okay.
Follow me on Instagram at Connie Aluoch, East African Arts. That's the British Council. And let's engage. Let's support. Let's work together to grow the creative industry. And then remember, it's hard work, but it pays off.
It's hard work, but it pays off. You have to put in the work. Your parting shot, Benjamin.
As for me, as I encourage more and more people to join the creative space, I encourage them to come and visit us on our website, British Council.
Yes.
Also on our Instagram page, as she's mentioned, at East African Arts. And just to give them a bit of a motivation and encouragement. Every industry requires time, energy, and dedication. And at the end of the day, once you put in those factors, get the opportunities, get the networks going, you'll be able to grow your business and become prominent in whatever field in the creative space that you're at. Yeah, so that's my parting shot.
Thank you so much, Asanteni. It's been good having you here. So we have a date. We're going to Kizingo, and then we're going to have Monday, the lose one. So so we do have a date.
Nairobi, we ain't coming back in a hurry.
See you soon.
Good thing is ratio iko
Resho gani? Si tushajua ni nani analipa.
Swahili Pot FM 91.7. Yeah.